So I started off as a journalist, and then once I moved to Bangalore, I started working with a boutique PR agency, then moved on to an international communications agency, and then finally corporate communication in the B2C sector, and then the B2B sector. So basically, I think I've seen most of the faces from being a journalist to having worked in a boutique agency, international agency, then corporate communications in B2C as well as B2B. So it's been quite a career. So I think as a communications consultant, when you just work for one company, it's quite easy to actually just focus on that and see how else you can improve. But when I'm working with multiple clients, right, I have to quickly shift between one industry to the other, understand their requirements, and then think of things that would actually help that particular company garner media attention, right? So I think like just shifting between industries, you have to keep yourself up to date with everything that's happening around you, not just one particular industry, right? I think that is when I started using Wizikey for monitoring certain industries, which I found really useful because then your news is always on top of your email, which is very easy to read, right? I don't have to specifically search for anything. So I think monitoring is something that I always have to be, on top of, and keep myself up to date with everything that's happening, in the world. And second thing is actually reaching out to the journalist part, because when you work with multiple clients, most of them, if they are in the startup industry or if they're in the bigger corporate side, you have to reach out to literally the same set of journalists every time, and it becomes really really hard to actually reach out to the same set of people. You shouldn't be spamming them, right? And at a human level, it is not exactly possible to remember so many journalist names. Keep looking for people who are joining, like basically keeping a track of where everybody is going to, like where are they right now, what are they writing about, are there any new journalists I can reach out to, because there are multiple segments, like for example people who just write on startups, fintechs, markets, or like healthcare, etc. So that was a real challenge, because keeping an Excel up to date was really tough for me. Half my time used to go only in that research. So I think most of my nights would just be doing research, because daytime I would have to do like client work. So these are some of the challenges that I was facing before using Wizikey. Other products that I've used before, other services that I've used before, they have a very surface level view of everything that's happening. For example, they would give me SOV compared to say five different people, because possibly the keyword count would be like maximum 5 or 10. For example, one of my healthcare clients, they had surgeries, they had telemedicine, they had pharmacy business, so many businesses, and I had to create separate dashboards for at least 10 of their different businesses, apart from having an overall dashboard. So it was very difficult for me to keep maintaining so many dashboards, and that way it was just surface level, like SOV, your reach, possibly the number of coverage you get, what is the sentiment, that's it. But I think of late brands have realized that they want to go deeper than that. How many times is my brand being mentioned in the headline, and how does my leadership actually compare with leadership of other companies? How are we tracking that? How do I measure against my competitors? How do I measure against my own self from compared to last quarter, for example? And I think that was really useful when I found that Wizikey actually had a feature in the monitoring space where you can do all of this, right? It was literally like somebody read your mind that you need all these features. So that is one thing that I can definitely watch that no other product has, and like all of my clients have found it really really useful, and so have I. So that is one thing on the monitoring side. And on the engage side, I think just the neatness of the dashboard, having a media list can be quite messy, honestly, be it Excel or any other product, right? But the filters that you can use and how neat it is for you to actually select and view their profiles in the same dashboard was really useful. And of course, having different, I'm sure other products also have like different media lists, but I was really impressed with how thorough it was. because like this neatness does not just go into the media list, but when I sent out the emails, right, the journalists used to tell me that, it is just so neat as if you had sent it from your own Gmail. Basically, after using Wizikey, right, the time that I spend on media research as well as media reach outs have literally reduced by half. And I have more time to now spend on my clients rather than just doing research. And I would say all thanks to the high open rates, which are now literally 50 to 60% on an average for every email that I send out via Wizikey compared to the 2 to 4% that I had previously. And of course, I should not forget the journalist responses that have been key for my success so far. Because using Wizikey right now, I think the media responses have now increased by almost 3x compared to the time when I was using other products. 3x is literally, like, I think really high above benchmark.